Happy Monday, guys. Welcome in. Coming in off a little bit of a shaky weekend, a little bit of a shaky week. Started off red hot. Things got a little bit bouncy there. Did get Orioles in as a winner yesterday. Kind of saved grace a little bit. And coming in with a pretty good card here on this Monday slate. Going to have some bets out there for how to beat the Bookie members. Some interesting news coming on. John and I just talking about it before we started this thing. I mean, Wander Franco, Tampa Bay, who was all high and mighty back in April, just has bad blow out there, bad blow out there, bad blow. And having your star player, having those kind of rumors come out can't be good for him individually, but overall the clubhouse is in shambles right now. Has to be, John.
Yeah. First, McClanahan goes down. One of the guys in the front runner for Cy Young this year. He had already lost some pitching. And now to lose Franco. Big blow. They looked like a dead team yesterday. This team's now going to go coast to coast from South Florida, Tampa Bay, to go to San Francisco. Tough spot for them. Just tough spot in general. This is a team that got off to a ridiculous start. Way ahead of everybody. Now find themselves still as the top wild card, but now 3 games behind the Orioles in the American League East. They've got nowhere to go but down, I feel. This might be another tough blow. Let's see if they can overcome this. We'll talk about that game. That's the last game on the card today.
We can go ahead and dive in. We have a nice little NL matchup here. A couple of dead teams, a couple of horrible pitchers going at it. Pirates at the Mets is going to be Priester versus Carrasco. Pirates team coming off a decent series there with the Reds. They go 3-4 on the homestand, split the doubleheader like yesterday. And this Mets team avoids getting completely destroyed by Atlanta. They pull out the Sunday night game, but just the 3 games prior to that, absolutely torn apart. They're 3-10 their last 13. Carrasco was better his last time out, but he's typically always had good numbers against the Cubs. Prior to that, had an over 12 ERA in his 4 prior starts, and Priester's just been miserable. 7 runs, 14 hits in 8 innings. Had a handful of starts. He has almost a 9 ERA in his career. Might just be a game to bet the over. I don't really want the Mets with Carrasco coming off the Sunday night game. Can't back Priester. We'll bet the total on the over or nothing in this one, John.
Well, we're actually still waiting for Pirates to make Priester official. They haven't announced him official. We believe that's who it's going to be. So you've got 2 ugly pitchers getting out there to pitch, and spot couldn't be worse for both teams. Pirates play a doubleheader yesterday and then travel, and the Mets get the Sunday night game. Ugly game all the way around. We'll wait to see lineups in this one because, like I said, after the Pirates playing a doubleheader, may want to sit some people. We don't know who the pitcher is, so we'll wait for the line in the pitchers. But one hell of an ugly game.
Absolutely. Then we have a nice NL West matchup. D-backs at Colorado. Arizona just absolutely miserable for the last month and a half, but put together a couple of wins against the Padres, who might just be in a worse situation. Can they get back on track? They're still very much so in this wild card race. It's currently for them sitting in, and they're now in that 6th spot, but just 2.5 games out for it. And then Colorado, they've been struggling as well. They just got beat up by the Red Hot Dodgers all weekend. Kelly versus Flexen. I mean, it's a pitching mismatch as big as day you could have. Kelly's been terrific since returning from the IL. 3 of his 4 starts, quality starts, been very consistent. 2 runs in 12 innings, last 2 times out. It's been great on the road all season with a 2.77 ERA. That includes a quality start at Coors Field. And then Flexen, who's just been miserable. Almost a 9 ERA so far in his 3 starts with Colorado. Last time out, 5 runs, 8 hits in 5 innings. Did have horrible numbers against the D-backs back in 21, and that wasn't even when he was pitching some good baseball then. Give up 8 runs in 11 innings back then. So can't back Flexen, although this home dog in a divisional matchup, very appealing. Arizona, are they trending back upward? Are they starting to go the other direction? Who knows? But they need to get wins here. Absolute pitching mismatch. They got to take advantage of it. They've done well in this matchup so far this year. 5 of 6 meetings they won. Would be a lean to the home dog here, but I don't want any part of Flexen, especially with Kelly on the bump.
I wouldn't either, but just as Ben said, it's home dog or nothing. The price, the price, what I'm seeing is just the DraftKings because there's no line of this. Because again, as in the Pirate game, Arizona hasn't officially named the pitcher for this one. DraftKings has got it up 230 plus 190. If he's the pitcher, you can only take the Rockies plus 190 in this battle. Colorado's absolutely horrible. Batting now 164 over this 5-game losing streak. Kelly's just been a monster on the road, 6-1, 2.77 ERA. He's been great in 3 of 4 starts since coming back from the injury, and Flexen is absolute garbage. So if that's the matchup, again, as bad as Colorado is, as big as a mismatch it is, you can only want Colorado. Look, take those last 2 games away from Arizona, And this team is as bad as anybody's been since the All-Star break. So don't know that they've completely turned it around, beating a San Diego team that I feel is kaput. We'll see if that's the pitcher, if that's the pitching matchup, what that line opens up. But yeah, no way I'm looking to lay a plus 200 favorite that, besides winning a couple of games, was had the worst record going into those last two games in baseball since the All-Star break.
And it's Angels at Rangers. Angels continuing this tough trip. They lost 2 of 3 against Houston, but they did get to the win yesterday. Still 3-9 their last 12. Hinges 2-12 right now. And Rangers complete opposite, red hot right now. 10-2 their last 12. Come in after a loss at San Francisco on the first 2 in the series there. This is interesting pitching matchup. Pitching matchup alone makes me lean a little bit here to the halo. Sandoval versus Scherzer. Sandoval's been really good lately since July. 2-1, 1.86 ERA. Had a quality start against the Giants last time out. And Scherzer starting to find his groove a little bit here with the Rangers. 4 of his last 5 starts are quality starts. And so are his first 2 with the Rangers. Granted, it's against the White Sox and the A's. A couple of bottom 4 or 5 teams there in the AL. So take that with a grain of salt, if you will. Scherzer, I still give it a little bit of a pitching edge here. Just nothing drastic. Sandoval's been terrific. Some of it matters. This Rangers offense, absolutely dominant. They're dominant at home. Best home team in the MLB, 40-20 at home, getting it done. And really in the last month and a half, so really turning it up on home. The splits there have been a lot different. Angels are nothing here, getting a pretty good price with a pitcher who's going well. Just 2 teams trending opposite directions. Rangers looking to extend their lead on Houston here.
Yeah, if I would have wanted to bet Angels, I would have bet them yesterday. That was the right side yesterday. Just couldn't pull the trigger on them. Houston had owned them. They've basically given up. They're already announced that they're skipping Ohtani's next turn as a pitcher. So they've run up the white flag. Don't want a team that's out of it going against the team that's going for wins. Look, Texas with that loss, still only a couple of games ahead of Houston in that race. Texas does not want to pull a New York Met repeat from last year. Be ahead the entire season, get caught at the end, and then be a wild card for their trouble. So they'll be looking for a W. Scherzer, after that first inning of the first game, which he gave up 3 runs, has looked really good now. He looked good the remainder of that first start, looked good in the second start. Don't want a dead team. The number is high because of that. I'll stay off this one unless we got a major lineup change or something. We'll see how that goes.
And it's Mariners at Kansas City. Mariners, they were red hot as well. Then they dropped their last 2, scoring just 3 runs after the 8-game win streak. Yesterday was in extras. Bunch of tight games and against Baltimore there. So maybe a little bit of a letdown from that series. Meanwhile, the Royals, 2-6 their last 8. They come off splitting that 2-game set with St. Louis. Gilbert versus Singer, pretty good pitching matchup. Gilbert's been terrific. They've won in 7 straight starts. He's 5-0, 2.58 ERA in that stretch, coming off 7 shutout innings versus the Padres. He was terrific. And Singer been just as good. 4 of his last 5 starts, quality starts, 3-0, 2.94 ERA. Last time out, 3 runs in 6 2/3 at the best home offense in baseball, the Red Sox. He did have good outings against the Mariners last year. I've been liking backing Singer lately, and I want to be on Singer in this spot. This game just means so much to Seattle. If you're Seattle here, what you're trying to do in catching teams in the wild card, you got to go up against the second worst team in baseball, a pitcher who's been lights out. It's really one of those just must-win situations. Just number a little too short for me to get on KC here. We need this number to go up here. Tough to go against the Mariners here, but drop 2. Bats cooled off, due for regression. Could see backing Singer. Would be KC or nobody for me.
Look, Singer's been good, no question about it. He's 3-0, 2.94 his last 5 starts. Gilbert, 5-0, 2.58 his last 7 starts, so he's been even better. As Ben said, KC second worst team in baseball. Mariners in that wild card chase. They took a couple of tough L's against Baltimore. Got to come in and beat up on KC. KC Garcia, the third baseman, batting .372 in August, missed his last game. He's questionable. You want to have all the bats you could possibly have in this game if you're betting KC. So I agree there's a little lean to KC. Can't pull the trigger, especially if they don't have all their bats in there. I'll pass on this one.
And then it's Astros at Miami. This Marlins team, very much so in the wild card hunt, currently holding that 3rd wild card spot. They are a half game up on the Reds currently for that. And then the Astros, like we talked about at the start, 2.5 games back from Texas as far as that division. So both these teams very much so in the hunt. Valdez versus Garrett. You have Valdez, who been a little shaky. Even with the no-hitter, he still has over 6 ERA in his last 5 starts. And then last time out, had the regression, gave up 6 runs in 7 innings versus Baltimore. Had a bad start at versus Miami last year, giving up 4 runs in 6 innings. And then Garrett, he's been really solid lately. They won his last 3 starts, 2 of them quality starts. Had a good outing versus the Astros last year, allowing just 1 unearned run. Pitching edge, I'm going to give it slightly to Garrett here. The way Valdez has been going lately, Garrett a bit worse at home, so that's a little bit of a hesitancy there. 2 teams who need it. You have Astros who are coming off beating up on the Angels. It dropped last night. Bats fall off a little bit. They're playing good ball, 9-4 their last 13. Saw Marlins, the coldest team out of the All-Star break originally. Obviously, that belongs to Arizona now. But now, turn around a little bit. They've won 4 or 5, going back the opposite direction, getting some good momentum, getting really good starts out of guys like Sandy, who are just picking them up a little bit more. This is the home dog all the way. 2 teams in a wild card race. And would be interesting here to see what Valdez can give if he can flip it around down the stretch.
Okay, so Valdez, last 5 starts, he's been awful except for the no-hitter. The other 4 starts, 4 runs or more in all 5 starts. We bet against them. We told you guys right after the no-hitter, we're going to go against that no-hitter. And Baltimore pummels them real quick. Unfortunately, Bautista gave up the grand slam in the 9th that we lose that game. But Valdez, he, like I said, awful in 4 or 5 starts with that no-hitter squeezed in there. And put in your head, Marlins, best team in the majors against left-handed batters. 3-0 against left-handed pitchers, hitting 302. So Houston's got to travel. Miami stays home, coming off that big momentum game like yesterday, coming up down 7-2, so 7-3 in the 9th. They come from behind, win to beat the 2 games that were unbelievable. I got to be honest. The Marlins and the Nationals, I could see the A's losing that because that's the bad news bears. That's Yankees. If you think you're in the wild card hunt, you just can't lose that game. Marlins come back to win that game. Like I said, they do a job on lefties. Valdez hasn't been good last 5 starts, except for the no-hitter. Hasn't been gone on the road. Wasn't good against the Marlins this year. Hey, it's Marlins and nothing. The only bad spot, Jorge Soler, he missed yesterday. He leads the team in 28 home runs, 62 RBIs. He'll be questionable again. He's missed the last 2 games of the Yankee series. 28 homers, 62 RBIs. You'd like to have that bat in the lineup. It's Miami and nobody.
Yeah, and you add in that what Marlins done against left-handed pitchers this year. Valdez, he is top 5 in ground ball out. So you have a team that likes to put the ball in play. You know, guys like Arias and everything else against a pitcher who lets the ball be put in play. So see how that fares Valdez. And it's the Yankees at Atlanta. You just mentioned it. Yankees absolutely choked away that game last night. Clay Holmes gives up 5 in the 9th. Tough way to lose for the Yankees. 2-5 their last 7, 4-12 last 16 on the road. Can't get it going. Still, they're going up against the best team in baseball. Lean here's to the Yankees today. Schmidt versus Fried. Fried's first start back was terrific against a red-hot Cubs team. Second start back gave up 4 runs in 4 innings against the Pirates. And Schmidt's just been as consistent as can be. 6-0, 3.53. There's only 3 pitchers who have more starts giving up 3 runs or less. Garrett Cole, Blake Snell, and Sonny Gray. So pretty good company to be around there if you're Schmidt. See if he can stay that consistent against the best offense in baseball. Either way, you have this Braves team coming off the Sunday night game, coming off beating up on their little brother, the Mets, and now they come in here, get a cold Yankees team. Would be Yankees or nobody at this price. The way Schmidt's been going, just been too consistent to ignore. Do you want to back this Yankees team on the road? Do you want to back this Yankees offense? Really tough to do so, but them or nobody here for me in this spot.
Exactly, just what Ben said. It's Yankees and nobody. The price is crazy price. What Fried do we get? His first game back off the injured list. Had been on the injured list 3 months. We go against Fried in that game against, at that time, the hottest team in baseball, the Cubs. He shuts them out for 6 innings with 8 Ks. He comes back his next time out against the Pirates, and the Pirates tag him for 4 runs. Tell me which Fried we get. I'll tell you which team to bet in this one. Schmidt has been solid. I don't know how the Yankees recover from yesterday. These are big L's. The Yankees right now, last place in the American League East. They're chasing all the teams. That's a W in their hand to go to Atlanta with, and they blow that game. They have no offense. Could get a break tonight. Albies left the game last night, so he's going to be questionable. That's 28 homers, 90 RBIs. Thing is, Braves got a lot of guys that do that. Olsen's just having an insane year. Another dinger last night. Yankees are nobody at the price. We'll wait to see who's playing. Is anybody sitting? Is Albies out? But it's Yankees or nobody because the price is crazy. But again, tough to get behind them. They're not winning on the road. They had to have their hearts ripped out. You wouldn't want to be on that plane ride going to Atlanta from Miami last night. So we'll see how this one goes.
That's A's at the Cardinals. A's, the other team, had that disgusting blown lead last night, up 7-2, let it slip, lose 8-7 to the Nats. They've now dropped 5 of 6. They're the worst road team in baseball, 15-44. And Cards coming off an off day, they had that little split there. They won 3 of 4, scoring 6 runs per game, still second worst in the NL at home. Sears versus Mikolas. Sears, he gave up 4 runs his last time out in 4 innings, but it was against Texas, top offense in baseball. And then you have Mikolas coming off a pair of quality starts. Just tough to back the A's here, especially after blowing that game last night. Just really, really tough to get on them. Wouldn't want to be on St. Louis, but they are coming off an off day, starting to turn around a little bit. Cannot bet this Cardinals team at over a 200 favorite. Can't do it any way or how. Sears been decent for a lot of the year. He's been solid on the road, 3.82 ERA. Tempted to go on Oakland there just for the Sears purpose, and Cardinals being this bad and this big of a favorite. Don't know if I can do it after that blown lead last night. Nothing safe with them.
Yeah, that's the same situation as the Yankees. Total overlay. No way in the world, even with Mikolas pitching better his last couple of starts, should the Cardinals, a team that's out of it. These teams that are out of it, I told you, we're expected to be player teams, and then we're sellers at the trade deadline, and now they're just playing out the string. It's going to be a lot tougher for a team like that to get up day to day than a team that's been playing, knowing they're not going to the playoffs the whole year. It's Oakland and nobody at this number. Again, same scenario as Yankees. Do I want to get on a team? They got their heart ripped out. Even worse than the Yankees. This is the worst team in baseball, and they've got the stats to prove it. But absolutely A's and nobody.
Then Orioles at San Diego. Orioles, the road team sweethearts for us this season. Still the MLB best, 37-22 on the road. Come in after winning 2 of 3 at Seattle. Last one pulled out in extras. And then you have this Padres team. They dropped last 2 at Arizona. They've now lost 5 of 6. They're 5.5 out of the wild card. Nails pretty much in their coffin, but we'll see how this series might be the final dagger here. We'll see Rodriguez versus Darvish. Rodriguez has been a lot better since coming back. 3.45 ERA, coming off of his best start, 2 runs in 6 innings versus the Astros. And then you have Darvish, who's been terrific. 5 of his last 6 starts are quality starts. Padres keep getting great pitching outings. I mean, I know Musgrove's hurt, no Walker's hurt. But still, those 2 guys, and you add in what Snell's been doing. Darvish's been great lately. Just doesn't seem to matter. They're getting these great outings. The bullpen's blowing it. The offense isn't showing up. So this is best road team in baseball or nothing here with Baltimore. You're getting a road dog with we keep saying it. O's getting disrespected. They're disrespected here again in this one against the Padres.
Again, I keep letting Ben go first. He takes all my lines. DMs, oh, you betting Baltimore again. You betting Baltimore. I'm going to fucking keep betting Baltimore until they give them some respect. This is the best team in the American League. They have the best road record in baseball. They just keep finding ways to win. But I think San Diego's dead. I've thought that since the trade deadline. Me and Ben have talked. San Diego, Angels, Mets, these were all St. Louis. These are all teams we thought should sell. St. Louis and the Mets did. Angels and San Diego thought they were going somewhere. I'm sure they believe by now they're not. Look, Darvish gets the pitching advantage here, but as Ben said, Rodriguez has been much better since getting brought back up from the minors. It's Orioles or nobody. Look, San Diego, every day I look at that lineup, and I'm like, Tatis and Kim and Bogarts and Machado and Soto and Cronenworth. I'm like, how are they not the best hitting team in Major League Baseball? Me and Ben at the trade deadline last year, when the Padres got Soto, they made the deal for Soto. We said it then. Well, when they get Tatis back after the suspension, they're going to be the best hitting team in baseball. So sometimes even experts were wrong. We are wrong. You know, it's the old Danny Green clip, the old coach of the Minnesota Vikings. We are who they thought they were. Well, San Diego is who we thought they are. This is their stats are telling you who they are. Baltimore or nobody, even though Darvish gets the pitching edge. You got a dead team right now playing against a team that's riding high. Bautista wasn't used yesterday, should be available today. Orioles or nobody.
Yeah, coming into spring training, I don't think there's a roster in baseball as a GM you'd rather have than the Padres. Maybe Atlanta, but even still on paper-wise, this Padres lineup just so underperforming.
Ben, I was so sure about their hitting that if you told me that they were going to get the pitching that they are getting from Walker. I know Walker's been injured lately, but the year he had, the role that Musgrove was on, what they're getting from Darvin now, what's the Met relief pitcher that just went there,
Lugo.
Well, I mean, he got cracked up his last couple times up with the Dodgers game, which we actually bet against him. But before that, he was giving them good stuff. You would have told me that they were going to get all that pitching. Forget about what Snell's giving them. He's been given video game numbers. Tell me that was going to be the pitching staff. I would have said they'll be running away with the West, and they're not.
That's just what it is. And then we have two teams who play very similar style of baseball. Rays at Giants, a lot of small ball, a lot of bullpen games. We do have Giants going with another bullpen game today. Touchdown at the top of this. I mean, what's going on with Wander Franco? It's just, hopefully it's not true. I mean, the social media era is kind of fucked up with that, where it's a little bit more guilty till proven innocent. So hopefully it's not true. There's some rumors that it was the mom who lied and said she was 18, and now they're just trying to extort him for money. Whatever it is, horrible situation to have for a Rays team who just gets bad break after bad break. It's got to be a weird environment in that locker room right now if you're thinking, oh, potentially my teammates out there dating teenagers, a little bit of a weird thing to get around. We'll see how Rays go. Now you have to go cross country from that. And then you have this Giants team who gets the win last night against the Rangers, snaps a 4-game skid. Glasnow versus Walker. Glasnow was pitching terrific. And then him, another bad break. He has to skip a start. He's having a little bit of back issues. We'll see what he goes. But in those 4 prior starts, 1.67 ERA. We'll see how he looks here against San Francisco. They're probably going to be overcautious with him. And then Walker, he's been decent as an opener. They're 7-1 in games he's open. He has 8 starts. And Giants, they love those bullpen games. This Giants are nobody. Ray's going cross country, all the drama, all the issues. Don't see any way here I could want to back Tampa Bay as a road favorite. Absolutely not. Look, Tampa Bay's not the road team that they are at home. I just think this might be the final straw. Obviously, we hope that there's no truth to that because that's got a whole other subject. It's just another distraction. Mm-hmm. Coming off losing McClanahan, that put a dent in them to start with. You lose your best pitcher. Wander Franco, the 5th best WAR, wins above replacement in Major League Baseball. This isn't a little blow. This is huge. Put on time. You could see how the team played yesterday. They were dead. 9-2, beat up by the Guardians. Now take a cross-country flight, go to San Fran. Only thing is San Fran's not hitting. San Fran, another extra inning game last night. So they win that game to snap their 4-game losing streak. So 2.6 runs per game. 2 of those runs coming in extra innings yesterday and hitting 193 over the last 5. Glasnow, he's going to be making his first start in 2 weeks after experiencing the back problems. That's not a good sign either. Look, they lose Glasnow. They've already lost McClanahan. What's over going on with Franco? This is a bad situation. Even though San Fran's not hitting, you guys know when a guy comes back from the IL, you're never on him. We could be against him. This is an IL stint. This is 14 days. He hasn't pitched it. So it's San Fran and nobody, the home dog. We'll see. That's the last game of the night. What happens in that one? Yeah, also worth a look at the under there, like you mentioned, losing Franco's bad, Giants not hitting, decent pitching going on there. So we'll see how good Glasnow looks for that. That's the Monday card, guys. Interesting game so far. I have a bet out already, and there's a couple of spots we're looking at to get a couple more bets out. We'll see where these lines go. We'll see what these lineups look like. As you guys know, Monday's travel day. Some guys get the day off after some of these tough weekend series. We'll see what's going on with that. If you guys want that information throughout the day, howtobeatthebookie.com or download the How to Beat the Bookie app. John, crazy weekend, crazy Sunday with some of those games the way they closed out, and starting to get a little bit more here of who's actually in the race and who's not. And we'll see if we can have a nice little bounce back week here. Yeah, the crazy day yesterday. 2 insane 9th innings, Yankees, Marlins, Nats and A's. Nats and A's, which had nothing to do with playoffs. Those 2 teams are dead, but Nats are winning. They're playing winning baseball right now. That's a team to keep your eye on. Yanks and Marlins. Marlins set the stage. They're in for the playoff run. Just the Yankees, after losing that game, like I said, now have to go to the best team in baseball, the Atlanta Braves. Not red hot, the Braves. They win enough of their games. They beat up on the Mets. But going to Atlanta is going to be a tough one to follow up losing that 9th inning lead.
Diamondbacks, did they turn it around a little bit with a couple of wins? San Diego, as far as I'm concerned, they're done. There's a lot of stuff to look at tonight. We'll see how that goes. I won't be here tomorrow doing the podcast. Ben will have it himself. I'm traveling back to Florida, so I'll catch up to you guys on Wednesday.
Yep, and hopefully it's a pair of winning days on Wednesday when we get John back here. Other than that, John, let's make some money.
Let's make some money.